Welcome back, everybody. Driver53 here with another short video on precision farming for Farming Simulator 19. And you guessed it, guys, today we're looking at potatoes. And we're going to be looking at the target levels for pH and nitrogen. We're going to be looking at the reduction at harvest of the nitrogen in the ground. And we're also going to be looking at how much is left in the ground after harvest is over. So I've got 4 plots here, but let me go and show you the map. So these are our soil types. We have loam here in the middle. We have sandy loam, we have silty clay, and we have loamy sand. And what we should expect out of what we are expecting out of this from the data that we've seen is loam is going to give us 125%, sandy loam is 100, silty clay is 90, and loamy sand over here is going to give you 80%. So what I did is, the reason I'm showing you these is because I've got a plot of potatoes in each one of these soil types. I was able to find a field here that has it close enough together. So let's take a look at our pH levels. So on pH levels, you can see that silty clay is 7.0, right where it should be. And our loam is at 6.75. Our sandy loam is at 6.5. And our loamy sand is at 6. So that's perfect. The next map here that I want to show you is nitrogen. So let me go ahead and turn off all of these. So what we're seeing here is that loam is actually at 160. And that's right where it should be. And next we have our silty clay at 140. After that we have our sandy loam at 120. And then our loamy sand at 100. Now I've got a little bit of a spot down there, but that's just where the fertilizer spread a little bit too far. So one thing about these that I want to share is that I used, well, let me take you back over here. I used the planter and I had nitrogen in it, a liquid fertilizer in the planter whenever I was seeding. And it initially brought the levels up to 60 on loam, sandy loam, and silty clay, but only 40 on loamy sand. And that was with the automatic setting on. I'm not sure what happened, but I knew that wasn't right. So what I did is I grabbed the fertilizer, and that's why you see the darker strips over there around each one of the plots, is then I hit it with nitrogen, and it brought it up to the levels that you're seeing now. And those are the numbers that are consistent with what we should be seeing. So if we run over here, I just want to show you guys that I'm not too high on the nitrogen levels. If we actually look at the plot, we can see that it's going to say perfect. Perfect and perfect right down there in the bottom right hand corner. You can see that at 120 is where sandy loam should be. And if we run over here to our loamy sand, you're going to see that it's going to say perfect also at 100. So I just wanted to let you guys know that whenever I did plant these, I was getting lower values, even though I was using automatic. So be careful on that. Make sure that your soil says this, perfect. And that way you know you're good. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and turn up the speed on all of these, get them grown, and then we'll come back and I'll show you guys the harvest and the results. We are ready to harvest, and I'm really digging how these wheels are sinking down into the mud. I don't have that mod, but it's really cool to see what's going on here. So I went ahead and removed all the tops off of the potatoes, and this is going to take me a little while to do because this harvester here is only a 2-row, and as you see, we've got like 8 rows, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 rows. And it's going to get really complicated on some of the other ones because they go to an angle. So this is going to take me quite a while, and I'm not going to keep you guys around for it, but I'm going to show you kind of as we go along, kind of like I did on the other one. Just kind of pop in and let you guys know what's going on. So we're going to fire this up, going to get started, and we will be good to go. So on this first one here, what we're going to have is we're expecting to see 80% yield on this section right here, because this is loamy sand. Like I said, everything else that we've seen, loamy sand is giving us 80%. So I'm going to keep doing this, and I'll see you guys over at the next plot. This plot here, number 2, is sandy loam, and this should give us 100% on this one. We were just on the 80, now we're on the 100. And this plot right here is loam, which should give us 125%. Looking pretty good. And this last strip right here in the silty clay should get us 100 or 90%. 90%. So let's make sure we got everything. Yep, we do. Okay. So now we're going to turn everything off. Get this thing out of the way so we're not seeing it on our maps. We're going to turn it off, and we're going to take a look at that map. So, turn this off. Here we go. So once again, these are our soil types. We've got the silty clay, the loam, sandy loam, and the loamy sand. So let's go ahead and take a look at the pH levels. Awesome. So as we can see, our silty clay at 7 turned into 6.75. Our loam at 6.75 turned into 6.5. Our sandy loam at 6.5 turned into 6.25. And our loamy sand at 6 turned into 5.75. And that is all exactly consistent with everything else that we've seen so far. All the other crops have done the exact same thing, a drop of 0.25 at harvest. So now, let's take a look at our nitrogen levels. Here are the nitrogen levels. This is really interesting. And that green blob that you see down there, that was something with the spreader whenever it was throwing down fertilizer. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but let's go ahead and get rid of the zeros, get rid of the 20s, let's get rid of the 40s. Okay, so now we have 60s. Okay, so on 60 we have our silty clay at 60, we have our sandy loam at 60, and we have our loamy sand at 60. Awesome. And at 80, we have loam. Really, really cool. So what we have is a reduction of 80 on loam. We're at 160, now we're at 80, so that's an 80-point reduction. On silty clay, we were at 140 and now we're 60, so that's another reduction of 80. On sandy loam, we were at 120 and now we're at 60, so that's a reduction of 60. And on loamy sand, we were at 100 and we saw 60, so that's a reduction of 40. Wow, that is really, really interesting. I mean, I guess it's consistent with what we're seeing on the beginning, because in the beginning, our silty clay and sandy loam were kind of flipped from what the yield is going to be. So the end result is, or the amount of reduction is the same. So you're not left with anything extra on silty clay than you are on sandy loam. Those are both 60, but it's still really interesting to see. Let's take a look at the slides. First is the target nitrogen levels. And this one is really interesting because for loam, you have 160 points. For sandy loam, you have 120. But then it goes back up for silty clay to 140. And then sandy loam or loamy sand is 100 again. So it's really interesting on those that they need to be switched for sandy loam and silty clay. So once again on this one, your second highest yield is your third highest nitrogen level. So interesting on that. It's not unique. We've seen it before. But it's just really interesting that on potatoes it's doing it again. Next is going to be nitrogen reduction at harvest. On loam, you had a reduction of 80 points. Sandy loam, 60. It goes back up for silty clay to 80, and then back down to 90 or 40 for loamy sand. So once again, the higher nitrogen level, you're getting a bigger reduction. And as you can see in the next slides, here in the nitrogen after harvest, it's going to balance back out and be equal. So loam is 80, sandy loam is 60, silty clay is 60, and loamy sand is 60. So that's where you're getting that ending result is going to be the same again. So really interesting. Like I said, it's very similar to other crops that we've seen now that's doing this. So I don't think there's anything else we need to test on this. I feel like this data is pretty good. So that's going to be it, everybody. If you liked the video or learned something today, go and give me a thumbs up. If you want to be kept up to date on all my future precision farming videos, or if you want to check out some of my other content and you like it too, go and hit that subscribe button. And if you do, go and hit the notification bell, because I am putting out multiple videos a day sometime. And like I said, with that other content, I've got all kinds of other stuff. I've got map tours, I've got updated map tours, I've got let's plays, I'm doing some mod review stuff. So if you like it, go ahead and share it around also. The more people we get in the channel, the more comments I get, and the positive feedback or negative feedback, it lets me know which direction I need to go. I'm here to help the community out, you guys. I appreciate all the support. Have a great day. Until next time, this is Driver 53, signing off.